Hi guys, CivilianSnowman here. Today I'm reviewing Drag Me to Hell, which I saw last night at the cinema. It's directed by Sam Raimi, who we all know from the Evil Dead and Spider-Man trilogies, and this is his return to the horror genre. The plot follows Christine Brown, played by Alison Lohman, who, after refusing a old gypsy woman an extension on her mortgage, becomes the victim of a gypsy curse known as the Lamia, a demon that torments its victim for 3 days and then essentially drags their soul to hell. So Christine essentially has 3 days to try and figure out how to get rid of the curse. What I do want to say about this film is it looks absolutely gorgeous. From the set design, it looks like a old-fashioned haunted house horror movie, and everything is just carefully crafted. It's a beautiful looking film, and again with the camera work, it's undeniably Sam Raimi. The camera work is just absolutely what he used for the Evil Dead films. Very kinetic, very stylish, and it works perfectly well for this kind of horror movie. Alison Lohman gives a good performance as Christine Brown. She does the innocent kind of victim side of the character really well, but what concerns me is when towards the end of the film she's becoming a little more aggressive and sassy, if you will, and she spouts lines that come straight out of Bruce Campbell's mouth in like Evil Dead 2. She can't quite deliver on the sassy. She feels like she's trying a bit too hard, and I think that's the only really part of her performance that lets the film down. One thing that really bothered me about this film, and I'm sure it's something a lot of people liked, but I'll have to explain myself, is the somewhat over-reliance on jump scares. Now, I enjoy jump scares as much as the next guy, but these, I like the fact that Sam Raimi kind of took it and played with it, in the sense that he'd throw one at you when you genuinely weren't expecting it, but a lot were predictable. But that being said, that's not what bothers me about them, right? Here's what bothers me. There is some genuinely scary imagery in this film. I mean, because it is a horror comedy, you know, there is aspects of horror in there. There are genuinely frightening images, such as a scene when Alison Lohman is in her car and an old woman is sat behind her in the dark. Now that is genuinely frightening to me, but it's then followed up by a jump scare, essentially, when the old woman lunges at her. And to me, I think that shot should have been allowed to linger a bit, because for me, I don't find jump scares scary. Yes, they make me jump, but then I just kind of forget about them. Whereas shots that linger slightly and frightening imagery, like you see in something like The Shining, and I know you can't really compare the two films, but that scares me a lot more. And I enjoy the jump scares, and the scene I'm referring to was played for laughs, and it really kind of evolved into a scene that was just nothing like what you were expecting. But the start of the scene where the old woman is sat in the car, that should have been allowed to linger, because I thought that was genuinely frightening. So I think the jump scares, although they are fun, they are good fun, and Sam Raimi's obviously playing with the audience's expectations when it comes to jump scares. I think that they do intrude on the genuinely frightening moments of the film, and I don't know, that just kind of bothered me. Like, I just think that they are slightly intrusive. Something I absolutely loved about this film was all the references to the Evil Dead trilogy, from the old woman's car to even Justin Long's clothes. It's all very obviously carefully chosen and crafted, and I just really get a kick out of that, like Sam Raimi throwing back to Evil Dead, and especially if you pay close attention to a scene when Christine runs into a tool shed to find things to pawn off to get some money. Just if you look carefully at the power tools she's ripping off the wall, any Evil Dead fans will get a big kick out of that, so that was an aspect I really enjoyed. Another part of the film that I really enjoyed was all the gross out gags, and it seems that whenever someone opens their mouth in Drag Me to Hell, something either spills out of it or jumps in, and that I thought was really, really cool, and not gross out in the sense of like gore as in, you know, Hostel's there just to be gory, but this is obviously there to be fun, and all the imagery like the vomiting maggots and stuff like that, I thought that was really good, and it's very much Sam Raimi's style, and I really got a kick out of that. In places, the CGI is a little bit wonky and cartoonish, and whether that was intentional or not, because I heard some critics say that it might be intentional in order to keep a PG-13 rating. I would have preferred it if it was a bit more realistic looking, but that's just me, because I'm not a fan of CGI at all, especially when you can tell that it is CGI. I'm going to give Drag Me to Hell 3 stars out of 5. I think it's a very enjoyable movie. I really enjoyed it, but there were some aspects of it I would have changed. I am happy to see Sam Raimi return to the horror genre, even though I think his next film's going to be Spider-Man 4, which I'm really looking forward to, because I think he's learnt his lesson after Spider-Man 3. So Drag Me to Hell is very enjoyable. I suggest that when you watch it for the first time, watch it with a big group of people, because you'll enjoy it a lot more. I think the over-reliance on jump scares, while it is fun, do intrude on the genuinely scary moments of the movie. And I think that a movie like this does need a few scary moments in it. But apart from that, I really enjoyed it. It's a great night at the cinema. It's like a roller coaster ride more than anything else. So I thoroughly recommend it. Alright, well, thank you for listening to this review. I hope you enjoyed it. This is CivilianSnowman signing out. I'll see you all later. Bye.